how are you? Well, you're not supposed to answer, but because it's a TEDx, but fine. Um, um, so thanks for answering. Did you really answer, or did you just mechanically tell me that you were fine? Because let's be honest, when people ask this question in normal day-to-day conversation, I don't know, at the coffee machine, let's say, do you really answer? I don't think so. I think this answer is very mechanical. Just shrug it off, maybe even give me a smile and hit me with this, yeah, I'm fine. We're used to such weighted questions being asked out of pure formality. We don't value them anymore. And we do this for the person, so that the person in front of us can go on with the day unbothered. I don't know how that feels for you, but for me, it's terrifying. I am terrified of living in a world where emotions are a burden, something to ignore, to repress, and to throw away. We neglect our emotions because we just can't be bothered. We lead busy lives. Wake up, snooze the alarm, go to the bathroom, oh boy, that's my face. Walk your dog, pick up their shit, coffee, go to work, traffic, grocery shopping, you name it. We are always learning, always absorbing new information, and always adapting to the latest changes. Which is great, don't get me wrong, but there are times when managing everything gets overwhelming. And we need to reconnect to our core. Get back in tune with our emotions. Our emotions make us who we are. As humans, we're now made to make up, alter, and ignore our emotions. As humans, we're made to feel. I am terrified. I am terrified of living in a world where feeling has become an option. An option which, if we're honest, we're not really encouraged to choose. We all at some point, when our emotions kicked in whatever situation, had this reaction. Ugh, feelings. Haven't we? And it's totally normal. As any other species, we seek self-preservation. To protect ourselves, we shut ourselves down or close ourselves up. Hurt and disappointed, we often wonder, why should I keep faith in our society at all? A society which views people as nothing more than numbers, figures, and economic assets. A society which still views women as sexual objects. A society which focuses more on differences than on similarities. A society in which one small detail which makes you different will be the first and sometimes the only thing which people will notice about you. It may be hard to believe, but something as insignificant, something as trivial as having my head shaved, got me into so many interactions I'd rather not have had. Is she a lesbian? Oh wait, is she trans? It's true what we say. Our society is becoming more and more interconnected, but its humans, if they still feel like such, are becoming more and more disconnected. We don't speak about what unites us. We don't show empathy. We don't truly express ourselves. We are not taught to. We are not allowed to. Accepting our emotions has become synonymous with optimism. And optimism is so easy, right? It's just flowers, rainbows, butterflies everywhere, soothing elevator music playing in the background for people who all love each other. It's not. I dare you to tell me that living with emotions is easy. I'm not going to lie. For me, it was definitely not. It takes so much courage to cope with our feelings, or should I say with how society expects us to feel. We resort to the harshest mechanisms. You know what I'm talking about. We all know. Anything really, from caffeine, alcohol, binge-watching, sarcasm, self-harm. Some people can go on for days having eaten little to nothing and then empty their house in a matter of minutes and find themselves bending over the toilet minutes after. Numbing ourselves has become easy. Feeling is hard. Feeling is terrifying. I am terrified of living in a world where emotions, something so personal, so subjective, is something we label and define so easily. So much research has been done to establish our basic emotions. For some we have 6, over 8, over 10. Happiness, sadness, fear, anger, surprise, and disgust always figure. But really, is it all our soul has to offer? We focus so much on describing our emotions, on often putting them on a scale from 1 to 10. We invent words to put on them desperately wanted to be understood, which is normal. But if we spend so much time doing so, when are we actually going to feel? We are a species which, to distinguish ourselves from others, seeks the rational. But emotions are not rational. The value of our experiences in life cannot be measured by how long we've felt them. Instead, it should be measured by how intensely they've made us feel. By always trying to quantify them, by always trying to classify them, good and bad, we're losing the value of our emotions. It's terrifying. I am terrified of living in a world in which our emotions are torn between two extremes. Our society values relentless positivity, yet tells you pessimism means being smarter. Fragility is appealing, yet it is constantly shoved down our throats that we must become strong, and by strong we mean emotionless. We strive for genuineness, yet have this huge cult of being grim and restrictive. We are praised for our compassion, yet told only through cynicism one can be realistic. We are told hope is the last to die, yet we're also told that only children believe in happy endings. We admire artists, writers and dreamers for having a universe of their own. But when it comes to your emotions, there is no room. People who allow themselves to feel are beautiful, yet so disgusting. We are lost. We don't know what to think. So as all species, we try and seek constancy. A totally normal behavior once again. But we like pushing things to an extreme, you see. So we've done it here too, obviously. We define ourselves by our emotions. And emotions are not meant to be defined, nor to define us. Emotions are meant to be in motion, to come and pass. And although you may argue that our ultimate goal is achieving happiness, doing so is impossible if we do not prior deal with all our emotions. We want to feel alive, yet have the needs of dead people. Only they are always and completely still. And can you imagine how boring it is? I don't know what you think about this, but to me, it's terrifying. Humans are made to feel emotions. So maybe next time, instead of asking me how I am, ask it to yourself and ask it truthfully. Thank you.